Okay, last case here, transportation costs. There's different types of transportation terms, FOB terms. The FOB stands for free on board. Basically, just the two different types of FOB shipping point, FOB destination, would determine which party pays the freight charge. Okay, this will be decided up front, but when you look at the invoice, if you see FOB shipping point, this usually is the most common case, and this represents that purchaser. If my company purchases the inventory, purchaser is the side that pays the freight charge. If my company purchases inventory, the shipping point, the ship term is FOB shipping point, then purchaser, my company, will be paying the freight cost. Okay? So at the same time, it also represents that once the goods are shipped out from the seller, throughout the entire transportation process, the goods belong to my company. Okay, so the FOB term determines which party is paying the freight charge, also determines within the transportation process which party is the one that is entitled for the goods. So if I'm the company purchasing the goods, in my perspective, this will be a freight charge for me to get the inventory into my warehouse. There's another way to represent this also, we call a freight in charge. Okay, if you see FOB shipping point, freight in charge, that represents really the same thing. The freight charges, purchaser is the side that is paying it, and we're paying it because we're getting items into our warehouse. So we can call it freight in. Freight in represents that purchaser is paying the freight charge. So in this case here, this entry represents the $60 of freight charges, and let's say we're paying it immediately to UPS company or FedEx, for example. Then this will be the transaction that occurred here. So freight charges you see here, we're reducing the cash, again, because this is additional expense. But this we represented under also inventory account. Okay, freight in charge usually comes at the end, and it's not applied to any of the goods that we readily returned. Okay, so freight in charges usually is additional to separate it from all the other transactions that we covered earlier. You will either be immediately, the problem will tell you immediately either the freight charge is $100 or $120, and you're dealing with different companies too, because the inventory you're purchasing it from the seller, but the freight charges you're really dealing with transportation company. Okay, so this cash is not paid to the seller, this cash is paid to transportation companies. Okay, so we think of freight charge as like a package that you purchase. This batch of inventory comes along with this batch of inventory's value. So just like how you and me, we may be purchasing things on Amazon. Right? If you purchase, let's say, $1,000 worth of something, of goods on Amazon, and you are the purchaser, you're also the party paying the freight charges, that will be added additional to the $1,000 worth of product that you just purchased. Right? So that will be add on to that $1,000. You may have additional $50 of freight charges, let's say, of the based on the goods amount that will be added to your purchase transaction. So in the perspective of a corporation, it's the same. It's very similar to our personal purchase transactions. You have a batch of inventory that's worth $700. The less complicated case would be, let's say it's all good. You don't have to return any. And let's say that you're not offered a discount period from the seller. Then it will just be $700 plus any freight charges that happen if the agreement is FOB shipping point. Then whoever is purchasing the product is entitled to pay the freight charge. So this is the most complicated case that we just talked about. If we purchase the item, a batch of goods, we realize a part of it is not useful for us, we can't resell it, then we have to immediately reduce this amount. Of course, notify the seller. Okay, then after this process, you still have $600 worth of inventory, and if your company is willing to pay within the discount period, then you get a few dollars off discount. Okay, but at the same time, freight charges, you will need to, once you got the goods, you also need to pay this amount to transportation company.